And welcome to episode 175 of the 77 Club. Harry, start with socials.
The All 77 Club on Facebook and Instagram, at 77 Club Podcast on Twitter, Spotify, iTunes. Subscribe, please, on YouTube.
Dan Bayliss is here.
Hello, Wolves fans.
How was skiing in Austria?
Very good, actually.
Put another shrimp on the barbell. What was it like? Was it nice? I mean, the country was basically in lockdown, isn't it?
No, everything was open. As long as you're vaccinated, you have a little COVID pass on your phone. I've probably still got it. A little COVID pass thing like that on your phone. Someone can now claim my identity.
You just realised halfway through that.
And they let you in. It was easy, really easy. Just wear a mask. It's so simple when people actually do what you should do.
Is that a ski mask?
Yeah.
You have to. It's like a special kind of mask. This is
FFP2. Yeah.
FFP2.
Yeah, it's the same in Germany.
It was fine.
Anyway, that's off on a tangent.
On a separate note, Jack Williams is here.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, you've had all your Christmas plans scuppered.
Yeah, the Omicron has actually hasn't got me yet, but it's got the missus. She tested positive on Monday night, I think it was. So yeah, basically that is Christmas cancelled.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how guilty will you feel about leaving her for the entire festive period to go somewhere else?
It did cross my mind, and she did say pretty quick, she was like, "You're not leaving me, are you?" Because I was sort of thinking, hang on, I don't need a cat sitter now. And because I have my vaccines, I can just toddle off anyway. It's fine. I don't have to isolate or anything. But that'd be a bit harsh to leave her on her own. And also, I've most likely got it, haven't I? It's just a matter, I think, of when I test positive rather than if. So that'll be my nice Christmas present to myself. A nice little positive
Something Jack
test.
has said to himself many, many times in the past. Right, okay. Let's start with Chelsea. Harry, I was pretty certain that this was probably going to be the last game that we could attend as fans. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case over the festive period. Chelsea did try and get it called off, didn't they? I mean, we were travelling up in the car and thinking, has it been called off yet? Has it been called off yet? And it wasn't. And just what did you think of that team selection to begin with?
God, let me think back. Yeah, Pedence and Raul, wasn't it, up front? The three in midfield, which you could probably predict because that's what we've done against the other big boys. I'm glad the game went ahead, and I know Chelsea had a lot of players out, but tough tit, isn't it, really? And obviously I missed the first 20 minutes. Could we talk about getting in? Because I didn't get checked at all for a COVID pass. I know you two did. I thought it was very lackadaisical, and I was very wrong about it being a shit show. Or the queues were very long, though, weren't they, lads? I don't know if you noticed that.
I actually thought it was painless for us. It was really, really easy because I think
did we go to the ground at the same time?
No, I was behind you, like when I.
Okay.
Yeah, you were on the phone or something when you went in a little bit after us, but I thought it was really painless. We just, I think a lot of people might have got there early just in case it was bad, and then it wasn't at all. It was like a quick flash of the phone, literally a second check, and it was like, yeah, okay, sound and in, and it was actually quicker than it was on a normal match day. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be because I thought Wolves could really mess it up, but luckily they didn't, and it was fine from my point of view anyway.
So what would they do, Harry? Did they look at your pass or not at all?
No, well, obviously I think there was a man with a clipboard, weren't there?
And
I was literally just walked straight past him and walked in. So I don't want to get anyone in trouble like at Wolves, but they weren't checking everyone, was they? So
not clipboard, man.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to get much stricter. Because I know a lot of people said that they had to fill a form out via email. I didn't even know we got that, so I didn't even fill that in either.
No.
It'll probably get stricter if we're even allowed in grounds soon when Big Bad Boris locks us all down. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
What do you think of it, Dan?
Well, I went and watched some ice hockey because I'm obviously really cool. And they did the same thing, but they checked every single person. You were not going in that stadium unless you had a vaccine or test certificate or whatever. So you're right there. You got COVID giggles.
Yeah, mate, it's just a tangent. It's just going on to
No, but it's funny, isn't it, that
how many people? They have to check. How many would you say were watching it in the
3,000 or 4,000?
Okay,
it was one difference. It was one door.
Oh, okay. Well, that probably works out.
So probably about the same. But everyone had to get checked and all that shit. Yeah. Whereas here we've got a massive issue with people testing positive like Jack all the time, and then they're just going, yeah, whatever. And you go.
Well, I don't know what more they can do really, because it's just going to be flip-flopping circuit breakers. All of this sort of stuff.
About, isn't it?
Also,
well, it is. Yeah.
No, hardly anybody was wearing masks in the stadium, which I thought was meant to happen in the concourse. And I thought it was a bit of an overkill of having massive, semi-threatening messages on all the screens instead of showing the game.
Get vaccinated.
Wear your mask, take your booster, and all that. But pro-choice.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, do you think this is the powers that be that are thinking about the money, Bayliss? Because they need to finish a Premier League season because there's a World Cup in 12 months.
No, it's just the British doing what the British do every time they do anything and half-arsing it. Like, it's just our natural thing. People don't like complying with what they're told to do. Like, that's just the case on everything. If 50% of people never do as they're told, if it was anything, let alone COVID, that's quite serious. So it's never going to happen.
Maybe we could play all the games in 10 Downing Street.
Just let people crack on now. Everyone knows what the risks are. I think, what has there been? 7 deaths from Omicron variant, all over 83. And
I think
80,000 a day getting it. Everyone knows what the risk is. If you don't want to get a vaccine, don't get one.
Well, what do you do, Jack? What's the answer?
In my point of view, I agree with Dan. Just everyone knows the risks now. You don't have to go to football. Just crack on. What's going to happen in reality is they're going to stop it all again, or go behind closed doors, and it's going to be. It's you can see it's already happened in Scotland and Wales, and it usually tends to happen that England follows suit a little bit after. What's happening at the moment, you see, is Johnson's just delaying because he can't cancel Christmas again after being a dickhead all year because everyone hates him already. So it's true, though. That's true. So it's a political thing more than anything.
It's the first time I've heard those sort of chants at more than one game, if any. Has been this week, that's for sure. I mean, we talk about cut through and stuff. But it is strange, isn't it, Harry, how on Boxing Day we'll be going to watch the Watford game, and if you're watching the Welsh Premier League, you won't be watching any football.
Should we talk about Chelsea? Because we didn't even speak about it, have we? We've gone a bit of a tangent there.
You started.
No, that's my fault.
Anyway,
Chelsea, right. So, we put the ball in the net. We obviously, I didn't see it, but we thought it was onside. Then Donker missed a sitter, didn't he, with his header? I thought we were brilliant first half. I know both teams only had one shot on target, but I think we could have edged it. Sarr made a great save second half when Pulisic, was it, who went through and he tried to dink him.
Yeah.
And then we just defended like heroes again. Our defence, Sarr, I mean, I know we're not doing much going forward, but you've just got to take your hat off to the way we're defending at the moment. Just if we can add something going forward, we're sorted, I'm telling you.
Jack, who started right wing back? We weren't really sure why that was the case. It didn't really make sense at the time. And we just thought after the 90 seconds that he had against Liverpool, it could be a bit shaky here up against, one of the 3 horses in the race to win the Premier League. But I thought he did a great job.
I thought it was really good. I was shocked at that. I still don't know whether it was tactical. Maybe it's tactical with all the games coming up, or whether it was Semedo's had a knock or something. I don't quite know, but it was a strange choice. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it at all, really. But yeah, he came in, did really well. I think there was one ropey ball in the first half where he just booted up in the air as a smash away. But apart from that, pretty solid again. So he slotted in pretty well, and it probably goes to say that again when he came on against Liverpool, he was in the wrong position, wasn't he? So if you put him in the right position, it probably does help, because he didn't really look out of place, even though that was the position I was probably most worried about when I saw the team sheet and couldn't quite understand the selection. But no, he came in, and he can't fault him, really. I mean, defensively, we've been great, haven't we? We've been really, really good this season, and particularly like the back 3 they're just absolute monsters at the moment. They're all really, really informed, playing well, understand each other. And it's reflected in the amount of goals we've let in. I think it's like the joint 3rd best in the league, like only City, Liverpool, and maybe tied with somebody else, but it's one of the best defences in Europe at the moment. The problem is that we can't put it in the onion bag at the other net. And said before, Dendoncker can't finish his dinner, can he? Bless him. Like, he tries, he just try, but he's not a natural finisher at all. And it was a shame about the Jimenez one, really, because from where we were sat, obviously, didn't see much wrong with it at first, but watching it back, he probably is rightly flagged offside because he does try and play the ball. Interesting if he just left it, whether it got given or not. That would have been an interesting choice. But yeah, that was it, really. I suppose there's a couple of VAR calls that we should probably talk about as well, because it wouldn't be a week talking about Wolves without dodgy VAR calls going against us.
Bayliss, I'll bring you on VAR. I'm
fed up. It's just such an obvious handball. What's the point? It is now more than ever evident that it is only there to benefit the teams that they want in certain positions.
We just couldn't believe it, could we, Harry? I mean, when you just think it, and to not even flag it as a foul
straight away, you're just shouting, aren't you? Handball, and Pedence is in. Simple as that. 1-on-1. I've seen some arguments saying it flicked off his chest first, but still, he stopped the ball going through with his arm. I mean, if it's at least a booking, maybe even a red. And then VAR's there, and they don't check it again, just like they didn't with the Moutinho handball again. Well, they did it with the Moutinho handball, but made the wrong decision. This time they're not looking at it, and it's the classic VAR checking club badge, isn't it? I know everyone keeps saying it, but it's so true. It just is, because that's, if it's the other way around, as Jack always says, you feel like something's going to happen with that, don't you?
Yeah, well, exactly.
It's one of our defense.
If they'd both been the other way around, it would have been no penalty and a red card.
Yeah, and completely changes the position in the table, I'd imagine. But Jack, what do you think of Chelsea trying to call it off? Because I mean, if there's a team in the league that has enough players in their squad to probably cope with a couple of infections with coronavirus, it's probably Chelsea, isn't it?
It's just winding everybody up lately, isn't it? And it's more that you just hear it all the time, particularly from, say, the top three managers in the league. So obviously the two Germans and Pep, really. It's like sorry, laughing at the comments there, but it's like it only ever happens to them. Like they're saying, oh, you know, we've only got 14 international players now. We can't possibly field a team. And like we've had a squad of about 13 first team players all season, and have been putting academy kids on the bench. And it's like standard practice for other teams in the league. But as soon as Chelsea have to rope in a couple of under 23s, it's we need to call it off. Need to call it off. It's just ridiculous, really, isn't it? And I think it's just starting to grate on people who particularly aren't fans of the Big Four, who they're always the victims. You know, we could lose five players. If they lose two players, it's oh my god, we've lost two players. It can't possibly. It's always on them, innit? And it's just wearing a bit thin, really. But there was absolutely no reason why they couldn't put a team out. The starting 11 they put out was fucking brilliant. Like there's no excuse.
Well, yeah, I'll go through it. Like Mendy, Aspilicueta, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, James, Chalobah, Kante, Alonso, Zajcek, Mount, Pulisic.
Yeah, and they'd have thought they were geniuses if they'd won 3-0. It's only because they're drawing that they're actually still whinging about it, really. And I'm glad that it seems that the Premier League have actually shown, well, I know all the teams that agreed it, but shown some balls and they've actually said we're going to carry on playing unless it's really, really like a breakthrough that wipes out the whole squad. Then, you know, you've got to field a team. And yeah, particularly these teams, you know, where they've got squads of 30 anyway. Then they've got the under 23s with another 30 in, and a whole youth system probably with about 1,000 players at all the levels in. And they're saying, oh, yeah, we've got 2 cases of COVID. We need to call it off now just in case we can't beat Burnley. And it's just, yeah, it's annoying, really. Just crack on. Other teams have had to deal with it, and it's going to be part of life now going forward, probably. So, you know, get over it.
Harry, how good was Sace?
Yeah, again, incredible. He's been brilliant, hasn't he? And we go back to the beginning of the season. I didn't think he'd be in the team, but he's kept Bolly out. I know Bolly's had his problems. All the back line, Cody again. We put out a post earlier about him, didn't we?
Yeah.
All the back five have been absolutely incredible, including the goalkeeper as well, Jose Sarri, we've mentioned, and yeah, really good defensively. You just felt safe again, didn't it? You feel really safe with this back line at the moment, and Sace heroics again.
Baylis Jimenez not really on form.
Yeah, I sort of agree, to be honest. He looks a little bit quiet. I think he's at another spell where he just needs one like at Southampton. And he's got a very good opportunity to do that Boxing Day. So I don't know what it is, though. He hasn't even got in those sort of positions you expect him to. You know, that sort of somewhere between the penalty spot and the edge of the 18-yard box, like the West Ham goal, or that floating around the penalty spot waiting for one to get dinked over the top for a header. I mean, if on form Raul had headed that ball, then Donker had. The ball, the net, and Mendy would be halfway up the North Bank. So, just want to see him get one. I'd love to see him score a headed goal. That's what I really want to see.
I mean, we couldn't really see at one point, could we, Harry? Because the fog just came in out of nowhere, and I thought this might get called off for something that nobody would have guessed. Because you know, you just walk up from the concourse, and I was like, "Where's the pitch gone?"
Yeah,
just Tuchel there with a smoke machine when it trying to get it called off. Roman, get the smoke machine.
There was I put out that post about the South Bank not being able to see him and not being able to hear him again. Although, to be fair, it was a little bit better, the atmosphere, weren't it? But still not the best. We've got a load of like weird Russian corrupt and typing in the chat, which is weird. Anyway, but there was also a porn star in the away end, so I don't know if you noticed that one, but I'll leave that one there hanging if you don't know what about. Anyone?
Could you see it?
It was. Oh no, wait.
It's what's the face who sounds like a seagull?
Yeah.
I just saw that video. It's like, my God, what is going on there?
Oh God.
What about the? They were crying, weren't they, Chelsea fans, because I suppose because Liverpool got a big bit of luck last minute that they should have had a penalty in the 93rd minute where Cody catches Kante, I think. What do you think of that? He caught him on the. He caught him on the foot, I think, after getting it through. So his foot does come down on top of his foot, basically. There is contact there. And I don't think VAR reviewed it either. But, it would have been 93rd minute and soft, in my opinion. But it could easily have been given. It could easily have been given.
If we're moaning the other way around, I suppose we've got to look at it, haven't we, when we do one. Did you think it's a penalty, Jack? I didn't even see a replay or anything. So.
No, I think Cody kicks the ball and just as he puts his foot down, it hits Kante. So he boots the ball away and he puts his foot down and it hits him. But obviously, Chelsea fans on Twitter are like, we should have had a penalty. And, but whatever. The ref didn't give it. I don't think Kante even appealed, really. So, yeah, it would have been one of them weird ones.
I didn't think the ref had a particularly good game. Do you, Harry?
I can't really remember, to be honest. I can't remember any, apart from the Kante howler, really. I can't really remember any other decisions or any stick in your mind.
I just thought it was inconsistent throughout, to be honest, and pulling up for fouls I didn't really think were fouls and not letting the game flow very well. And it was this classic stalemate in the end, wasn't it? But there was a stat. Wolves have only scored 13 goals in 18 Premier League games this season. Fewest at this stage of a league season since scoring 12 in the 83-84 season. And do you know what happened that season?
Won the league.
Got relegated. So that bodes well. It shows you how important the defence is. Let's have a look at Watford's. That is going to be the next game. Get your COVID passports out. I mean, he's going to make changes, isn't he, Harry? Because this is more of a game that you think going to win. Hopefully, Semedo comes back in the side. Do you think?
Yeah, that was. I mean, we've already mentioned it. That was a bit of a weird one. Hoover coming in must have been a fitness thing. Yeah, and I think we've got to go back to the 3-4-3 as well, with Ralph through the middle, Traore and Pedence, I guess, the other two with him, Moutinho and Neves in midfield, Semedo back in, as we've said, and try and attack, because although we've had some heroic performances against the big boys, we do need to start getting on that score sheet, and with Arsenal and Man United to come up, we've got to be beating Watford. They've lost the last three, I think, something like that, and they're struggling a bit, so a must win. We've already beaten once this season, and we need to do it again.
Jack?
Yeah, I think we've got to go more attacking. We're at home now.
It's one of those games that we've got to win this one, I think, haven't we?
Yeah, I was just sat here disappointed thinking that I'm going to miss Boxing Day football. So, yeah, that's just flowing through my mind, really. And Arsenal, probably, as well. Yeah. So, basically, I think just thinking that was probably going to be my last game now, because we all know as soon as it hits Boxing Day, Boris is going to announce that probably the games can't continue. So I think the last 2/3 I'm probably going to miss anyway. So yeah, that's depressing. But this is the game that we need to good home performance, good win, good crowd, early kickoff, which is a bit worrying because sometimes we don't turn up for them, do we? But Watford have probably definitely improved since we played them at Vicarage Road. But it's got to be a game when you're looking at the next two games as well. When you've got Arsenal and Man United, you've got to win this game, which is kind of what we did with Brighton. So this will keep us on the pace if we win this, no matter what happens in the next two games. So yeah, a bit more attacking, please. 3 up front, I agree. Start Traore because he's, he does make the difference and he is always that out ball. So I want that really. And hopefully a nice Boxing Day 3 points when I'm eating turkey sandwiches, watching Amazon Prime on the sofa because I can't go outside.
Bailey, should have a clean sweep of 3 up front.
Yeah, I think we've got to have a go at them, haven't we?
Yeah,
I actually don't think they play that badly, Watford. They've been better of late, so I don't think it's going to be an absolute walkover. But I think we've got to go at them, try and control the midfield a little bit, let Moutinho play a little bit deeper and spread the ball, and hope and pray our wing backs start beating and getting around the back and giving us something to play into. Please.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because I think that they weren't any great shakes, were they, at Vicarage Road? I mean, we were sat on our hands in the home end, weren't we, Bayliss, for that one?
Don't remember where I
wouldn't quite call it a smash and grab, but it was we managed to take some chances. There was an own goal in there too and stuff, and everything seemed to go our way on the day. That hasn't been, what seemed to have been happening of late. But we'll do a score prediction starting with Harry.
Let's go 2-0 again. Same as result as last time. 2-0 Wolves.
Jack.
I think it'd be close, but I'm going to go 1-0 Wolves.
Bayliss.
I'm going a 1-0 shithouse. Yeah.
Excellent. I'll go 2-1 Wolves, of course. Let's get your latest betting odds and ticket news.
Yeah. Hello. I'm back. Wolves are really short. Shorter than I would have expected, really. But I guess it's our position in the table more than anything else. How we're playing and stuff. But
yeah,
you got to go high goals to get good value, and we don't score many goals. So a little bit difficult.
That's why there's good value.
I do quite enjoy a 1-0 Roman Sace is 35-1 though.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Better than Jimenez to score first 2-0 Wolves 20-1. So it really is short.
Yeah, that is short.
Harry, I've done one for you. Pedence Wolves 4-1 is 110-1.
Lovely. I'll be smacking that on.
And then, given how short it is, what is a 1-1 draw with Semedo scoring first?
125-1.
I'll go 300.
It's 175-1.
Is it?
It's quite short, considering he's never going to score, and I mode a day out. So
you are now, yeah. How happy were you when his name wasn't in the team sheet?
Well, it just meant I sat there going, "Oh, it's gonna be lovely that Nargis kebab, couple of Guinness,
fucking Nargis kebabs." Jack has your ticket news.
I do. So what was it we said the other week, that if we can't sell out Watford on Boxing Day, then it defeats the
then
the
it's
idea.
no argument. There's no argument ever again that you can't get a ticket to get a game.
Well, guess what? Because there's still tickets left, and they're now on general sale, so you don't even need to have had a membership. On general sale as of today, there's only a couple of hundred left, in all fairness, but there's still the opportunity to get down there and support the lads on Boxing Day. But I'm kind of starting to agree with you, Sam, really, because it's like, oh, it's on Amazon Prime. It's only £6 to watch it. It's Christmas. Let's not bother. If that was Man United, it'd have been sold out weeks ago.
Close shop, bloody close shop it is. Point system's broken.
So, yeah, and I mean, it's not even like it's bad football. We're playing well, really, and it's a winnable game at home. So, as I said, I'm just gutted I can't go. But anyway, there is still a few left, actually. So if you're looking to get some last-minute tickets for that, or, I don't know, take the family, then you can probably buy tickets on general sale, which is lucky. What else do we talk about? Home games. So the cup game, which is a 2:00 kickoff, we said before, tickets for that £15. I can't imagine that's selling very well, because it probably won't even happen, to be honest, will it? It'll be behind closed doors. And in terms of the away games, the only other two announced that are coming up, which are Arsenal and Man United, are both sold out now. And again, whether Man United will even happen, I don't know. So who knows? Ask Boris.
Perfect. Okay. Let's move on to something that isn't quite to do with Wolves. Well, it isn't. But I'd like to get your views on it anyway, because Phil Foden and Jack Grealish have been warned over their conduct by Pep Guardiola after they were left out of Manchester City's win over Newcastle on Sunday. The England pair were pictured on a night out after City's 7-0 home win over Leeds 5 days earlier. Harry, should footballers have lives, or should they stay in until they're 35?
For me, they should have lives, yeah. But obviously, with the game being so professional these days, and they're playing for a top club, Pep's professional. I can see why they get in a bit of trouble. But for me, I'm a pisshead, ain't I? So I'd love to be a Premier League footballer and go out to nightclubs. So you know what I mean? So I'm on Foden and Grealish side. You just won 7-0. Go to the club, do the worm, few moonwalks. On with them. They're back to training the next day. Might be a bit rough, but if they go and score the winner on the next Saturday, it's all forgot about. But football's changed, isn't it? They're ultimate athletes and ultimate role models now.
Surely
so
it's more COVID than it is.
It's more COVID, I think, isn't it?
I forgot about that.
I think it's probably more to do. I'm guessing they've got bubbles and stuff, and they particularly over Christmas, that they can't go out and bring Omicron back to the rest of the Man City team.
You're a functioning alcoholic. What do you think?
On balance, they probably shouldn't have gone out, given they're professional sportsmen and we don't want football to be shut down again. But if it weren't for COVID, then crack on. Jesus. Like, you've won 7-0, go out.
Yeah, I didn't think of that link, I'll be honest. So maybe they did the wrong thing. But, yeah. Have they been jabbed? Have they been triple jabbed? Can you still get COVID?
You don't know, do you?
The thing is, you talk about COVID and stuff. It's like, well, you're quite happy for them to go out and play in front of 40,000 people. That's fine. But you can't go to a nightclub.
In half an acre of grass.
It's still
It's not that on the fifth row.
All I'm saying is it any different to going to a busy supermarket? Realistically,
they smoked half an acre of grass in that nightclub.
You don't have to show. No, hang on. You don't have to show a COVID. You don't have to show.
Just imagine some bloke running down aisle 32 past the biscuits, beating 3 blokes.
Well, you would know where the biscuits are. You don't have to show a vaccination passport to get in a supermarket. You do to get into a nightclub. Therefore, ipso facto, nightclubs have to be safer than supermarkets.
I don't know, because if you know what goes on in nightclubs, don't you? Rather than going on in supermarkets, like you're not bump and grinding the 85-year-old granny in a nightclub, are you? Actually, Sam might be. So it's a bit more up close and personal, isn't it? And there's other stuff going on in, dance floor, toilets.
You have to be that close enough to someone to say, "Don't fucking touch me." Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Right, okay. Well, I thought you'd all be on Jack Grealish and Phil Foden's side, but there you go.
I was.
I'm shocked. You've been brought round. Although Wolves put out a post this week, didn't they? And they had pictures of all the players getting their vaccine. And I think, Harry, were you saying that it's Wolves that have 100% vaccination?
Yeah, I think they have, haven't they? I think every player's got it. And I can't remember now. I'm sorry. I remember seeing it on Twitter, and I can't remember the club or the manager. But the manager's come out, hasn't he, saying, I'm not gonna make my players have it. It's up to them. So it's one of them, isn't it, man? It's like it's up to the manager. It's up to the I guess the club owners whether they're going to make their players do it. And I'm sure that it's got to be one person in that Wolves squad who didn't want to do it but just had to. There's got to be, isn't there? I mean, if Carl Hakimi was still a Wolves player, he ain't going to be taking it, is he? If you look at his Twitter.
I suppose it depends on how they approach it, though. I think Wolves, by the sounds of it, went quite. They had proper. The doctors came in and had a proper talk about it and all this sort of stuff. It wasn't just a case of making mind up based on what you see on Twitter and Facebook.
On Facebook,
yeah.
Look at your Facebook page.
And so, yeah, I think they've been relatively, on the ball about it, really. But it's a difficult subject, isn't it? But didn't Klopp say that he's not going to sign any players in January who haven't been vaccinated because it's a risk as well. So he's straight away he's laying his marker down. But yeah, it's a strange one.
Do you think unvaccinated players should be allowed to play, Dan?
I think they should all be testing a lot, and if there are players that refuse to and keep going out and doing stuff they probably shouldn't be, then it's going to make it difficult. It's not going to take a long time for one person to get it in a squad. If they're unvaccinated, then it keeps going through. But you can still get it if you are vaccinated, so it doesn't massively matter. It just protects you more. So it is a bit 6 1 half dozen the other, and you've got to give people their ability to have free choice. The fact they're a professional footballer doesn't change their reasoning or why they should decide to do or not do something. So at the end of the day, they're adults. Well, most of them are adults. Some of them are pretty thick, which doesn't really help. But, they spend their entire times with physios, doctors, professional people. Maybe they need a little bit of guidance, and that's probably what's happening.
Perfect. Okay. Harry, anything else to say?
What about vaccines?
Well, it's in general.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. It's just a weird world we're living in, isn't it? It's all going to shut down soon anyway. Merry Christmas.
Would you prefer that it would? Would you prefer it was postponed rather than played behind closed doors?
Yeah, I mean, how painful was it watching it behind closed doors? I know we were playing shit football at the same time, but it's painful, isn't it, without the fans?
I agree. It's horrible. Like,
it's horrible
I think I'd rather they just cancelled it. They have to
wait till we're allowed back in.
Yeah, just cancel it for 4 weeks, but they won't do it because of the money that it brings in, because people in China are still watching.
Even remember they let like 1,000 in, even that was crap, wasn't it? Remember when they first started coming back, and it was like, I think it was like 1,000 or something. It weren't the same.
Oh, this is like should be the Christmas episode and like be really upbeat and Merry Christmas everybody. And it's just depressing, isn't it? It's just because we know what's like. It's just coming around the corner, don't we? And we know it's going to go back to being a shit show, and it's going to go back to being the football that us lot particularly who like go regularly. It's going to be taken away from us again, isn't it? At some point in the very not too distant future, and at the heart of it, it's like a political move behind it, and I don't know. It seems to have worked quite well so far this year, and as long as they put stuff in place to allow people to make the choice, and like you don't lose your season ticket or you place in the queue or anything if you decide you don't want to go, then I think we should have some freedom of choice more in that matter.
Some positive news, lads. Wolves have just borrowed that money from the Jota deal to sign loads of players in January.
I was 23 million. I saw.
20, 26, I think.
Oh.
Is it?
Oh,
Could be 23.
coughing.
Yeah, I got COVID. Nah.
So,
Well,
didn't they come out straight away and say, "Yeah, we're loading
But it's
all this
not for
money,
transfers.
but it's
Yeah.
not for transfers; it's for the Christmas party or something." Like,
there was no party.
I mean, it's got
Might be for the green stand.
That might be, yeah. They've started rebuilding that, haven't they?
Yeah.
I know we keep calling it the green stand. It's not been green for about 15 years, but it's definitely green now.
Yeah, we're old school.
But
remember, it was all trees.
But I also refuse to believe that because it's quite obvious we need players. Bruno is saying basically every week in some way or form that we need players, and now suddenly we're taking out this loan, but it's not for players. It's got to, it goes in the same bank account, doesn't it? It's got to be used for something. So it's you can't hide from the fact that our squad is light, and it's going to get lighter when Sace and Bolly go. Well, I don't know what it's going to Bolly at the moment, do we?
Bolly's weird, yeah.
Bolly's weird. It's all for new controllers and TV screens for the esports team, mate.
Maybe. Get some good controllers.
It's for the new
27 million.
skin on that Fortnite game, and it's for the new kit design. That's what it is.
Right, okay. Well, we'll wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Say goodbye to Harry Mansell.
Goodbye.
Dan Bayliss.
Goodbye.
And Jack Williams.
Bye, everybody.
And say goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Oh, I got to present, didn't I?
Oh.